Ormoc Great Love Village's school groundbreaking ceremony takes place on Tzu Chi's 53rd anniversary. Taiwan has implemented a series of water-saving measures in order to help the overall environment. Welcome to DaAi Headlines, and Lori Chen. Thank you for joining us. After Typhoon Haiyan, Tzu Chi built a Great Love Village in Ormoc for the affected residents. However, the children had to walk a very long distance every day just to go to school. Recently, a nearby new school groundbreaking ceremony took place, especially on Tzu Chi's 53rd anniversary.
Ormoc Tzu Chis walk hand in hand with children from the Tzu Chi Great Love Village to enter the venue. Everyone shows smiles on their faces because the groundbreaking ceremony of a new Tzu Chi school is held on this day.
We have about 1,000 plus residents in this village, and I know they have children going to school, walking some distance. And now we will brought the school here in the village. That is very important.
After Typhoon Haiyan, the then mayor of Ormoc donated a piece of land for Tzu Chi to build the Great Love Village. Over the past 6 years, the cycle of love has been spread throughout the village.
Do not forget the past. Do not forget the people who had helped us. Dati, tubuhan ito. Today, full of houses, full of people, and full of hope. Go!
The groundbreaking ceremony was held on the day of Tzu Chi's 53rd anniversary. Some politicians and entrepreneurs who pledged to provide funding for the construction of the school also attended the event.
Maraming salamat sa tulong niyo.
I'm very thankful to Tzu Chi for helping Ormoc after Typhoon Haiyan. Until now, they continue to accompany us. Thank you all.
We donated this school money to commemorate the 33rd anniversary of our parents' passing. It can also improve the life of children in the village. I'm very thankful for having this opportunity.
Knowing that they will soon have a new school, the children convey their happiness through a special sign language performance.
A doctor from the UK, Karmen, made a vow last year that she wanted to go to Mozambique to help the people in need. She's asked for a 2-week leave of absence from the hospital to join Tzu Chi's disaster relief team. She entered a remote area in the disaster zone to provide free medical services for the affected residents, realizing her promise to spread love and compassion to the worldwide community.
This community has long been neglected. However, a female doctor chose to especially pay a visit here. 31-year-old Dr. Long Jiawen is a family physician. She asked for a 2-week leave from work so that she can travel from the UK to Mozambique. She is most concerned about the children.
His belly is bloated because he is malnourished, so when we touch his belly, we can actually feel his intestines pushing against his skin. It is because intestines are swollen. That's why we can feel it so easily.
It is true, most of the children here can be seen with bloated bellies.
Most of the children are very thin, but they have large bloated bellies. Normally, there are 2 main reasons that cause a bloated belly. One is having parasites, and the other is malnutrition.
When touching 4-year-old Davin's belly, the doctor found something unusual.
Perhaps it's because there are worms in his belly, making it much more bloated. It's really quite large in size. I can feel that his belly is completely filled with air.
That's why maybe too big for her, but I can have a check on her as well.
The deworming medication brought from Taiwan came in handy. Dr. Long reminded both the children and their parents to take the medication in order to effectively avoid further transmissions. Furthermore, there are still many children suffering from skin issues.
I am pretty sure that he has some type of skin disease. However, such skin diseases are rarely seen in the UK.
Dr. Long visited the children's homes not only to understand their living environment, but also to give them a thorough checkup. The 22-year-old mother also endures her own painful medical condition.
You see these yellow patches here? These are actually filled with pus on the inside. When you press down on her skin, you feel that it is actually quite a bit stiff. So usually that means there's some type of bacteria that is trapped inside it.
Each family here is not only trapped in poverty, but also various types of illnesses. The simple and temporary outdoor clinic here is in strong contrast to the comfortable setting back in the UK.
I feel like that I am way too fortunate to be able to be a doctor in the UK, because most of the time, parents would come in with very minor medical concerns, such as a simple scratch on the foot or something. At times, I feel a bit helpless and frustrated in these cases. Then I come here and I see that many people actually have multiple serious health conditions. However, we are not able to do much for them. Maybe since they all grew up in such conditions their whole lives, so they have already gotten used to it.
This young woman, in fact, made a vow in front of Dharma Master Zhen Yan in November of last year that she wanted to go to Mozambique to volunteer her services.
I've always wanted to do the things that Doctors Without Borders do, but at the same time, I feel that I cannot do much just on my own. Therefore, I have joined Tzu Chi because I think the power of teamwork is very important. Coming here today, I do not have any regrets whatsoever. I do not regret to have made that vow either. I still want to come here to help them in any way I can.
Her compassion shows that love can cross any borders. At this moment, she has also realized her promise in serving the worldwide community.
Directly after the 2019 TIMA Global Forum ended, both Taiwan and U.S. TIMA teams seized the opportunity and headed over to Huejutla, Mexico to volunteer their services at the free clinic. A patient who came to seek medical help instantly caught the attention of the medical personnel. Let's see what exactly was the medical issue.
A friend of mine spoke to me because she knows that I'm a very social person. She told me about her nephew's case, how he was in need of help.
What we just saw was a deformed thorax. It's also known as funnel chest. He has a congenital malformation. His chest is set in place like this, which will push down on his internal organs, especially his heart.
The older he gets, the more sunken his thorax becomes.
I practically don't do anything. I get tired really easily. The fatigue just hits me really fast. I cannot exercise. So I just pretty much stay at home all day.
This is the physical aspect. The other part is the psychological impact on the person. Due to his deformity, he feels different from others around him, so in turn, he feels isolated.
I'm going to need 2 titanium plates and 4 splints.
We can most likely leave it in for 2 years' time. During these 2 years, his body will grow more and his sternum can slowly be reshaped. Generally speaking, if it's just a small indentation, only 1 piece of titanium is needed.
He has no choice but get the surgery because his heart has already been pushed to one side. His chest has grown to be larger than normal. Now he has also stopped going to school.
Surgery is his only option moving forward.
The surgery will cost around $10,000 US.
It would be amazing if they could somehow sponsor the operation for me.
Well, we do not have funds to afford the surgery.
They cannot afford the surgery because they are considered to be a low-income family.
Right now, I'm unemployed. My parents help me out a lot, but they are also in poor health.
So right now, we are working with Tzu Chi USA to see if we can get the technology from Taiwan to relieve his pain. At the same time, try to get him some financial assistance so that he can afford to get the treatments. In addition, Tzu Chi volunteers will continue to follow his case closely.
Well, they told us that they will help us. We don't know how exactly, but they would help us.
This is something so wonderful and meaningful to me, something that I never thought would be a reality. That someone like me would be able to help people like Louis or other children with help in the past. It means a lot because I really love to serve my community. And every person that I'm able to help makes me feel comforted and relieved.
I would like him to have the surgery so that he can live normal life And then he will be able to continue his studies and keep studying hard.
When I grow up, I would like to be a musician. I really like music a lot.
Today, we will start a new series on the various ways of water-saving measures that the Taiwanese government is putting into place. Let's take a look at the Taipei Zoo first.
The zoo covers more than 165 hectares and is visited by millions of people every year. Furthermore, it has 2,300 animals to care for, as well as a daily inflow of tourists. To maintain the normal operations of such a large zoo, how does it manage its water consumption? It may be hard to imagine how to control water use. It may be useful to consider the Taipei Zoo like a large community. The annual average water fee here is upwards of $300,000 as water use is unavoidable, but water conservation can save some resources. This is Gao Jun, who has been in charge of the African animal area at the Taipei Zoo for nearly 7 years. The first area our interview team visits is his African area, where some famous animals consume lots of water. Can you tell which animal it is? The hippo.
It should be the largest water consumption because they are also the largest. We have more and more here as they are 9 mothers together. They have a large amount of bowel movements each day. These animals need to be in a pool. This is a basic necessity for them. Their skin can take an environment that is too hot or dry. So they need to soak in the water and they feel more secure in the water. Basically, we need to maintain this water throughout the year.
If the habit of the hippo is water, which may make it difficult to conserve water, how is it possible to save water? To begin with, one needs to start with habits. It turns out that there are 2 pool water systems in the hippo area. The display pool requires a clear water quality in order to give visitors a close look at the hippo ecology, but another pool does not need to be so clean. Therefore, the Taipei Zoo adopts a multi-purpose approach to allow the water in the display pool to be replaced. Then it can be used in the other pool. At the same time, a filtration system is in place, effectively reducing the frequency of large-scale water exchange in the hippo area. The hippo is much like a water-saving household who uses 3 tricks to save water: use of rainwater, filtering water for display area, reducing the number of water exchanges. Visiting the African animal area with Gao Jun, we learn other water-saving activities undertaken by the zoo.
We used to fill this mold with water to prevent chimpanzees from escaping. But then we learned that we really don't need it because our walls are safe enough and chimpanzees don't like water and don't swim. So if we cap the water, they don't use this space, so we fill it up and turn it into area where the animals can use. And this also saved water.
The devil is in the details. That the zoo's water-saving tricks not only apply to hippos and chimpanzees, but also another major use of water in the zoo, penguins. Here we meet a senior zookeeper, Li Gufeng, who is in charge of the penguins. He has spent a long time caring for emperor penguins and African penguins. He can judge whether the water in the penguin area is clean. The water for the penguin area is subjected to 3 steps of filtration: normal filtration of tap water, fine filtration, and ozone and sterilization filtration. Penguins are different from hippos. They have high water quality standards. It's impossible to use simple filtered rainwater. The water in the penguin area has high standards different from the rest of the park, so a special system was put into place for the penguin pavilion. This involves recycled, reclaimed water that is lightly used, which can still be used as a secondary water resource after treatment. In short, high-quality water in the penguin pavilion can be used again. In the case of the emperor penguin pool, the water in the pool is the medium-use water because it is completely used in a closed indoor environment. Each time changing the water involves 130 cubic meters of water that is relatively clean. This water can be used to supply outdoor bird area or wash the barn of wild horses and bears. This means that the water used by penguins is never wasted. At the Taipei Zoo, visitors can't see the ingenious water-saving measures in place, which can be an environmental education resource. The children are full of curiosity about the elephant-shaped water tank. It's not just a display, but actually a useful supply of water for surrounding plants in the area. Because of these water-saving tricks, including the collection and use of rainwater, if there is a light rain, then the 17 water tanks in the park can store some 32.5 tons of rainwater. Rainwater can't be used to wash hands or have direct contact with human body, but can be used for flushing, watering, cleaning, or replenishing water in animal pools. While the zoo saves water in different ways, it is all well organized. Considering animals have different needs, this water conservation and satisfying their needs for a good environment is a win-win situation.
It was just officially the 53rd anniversary of the Tzu Chi Foundation. It was also the 50th birthday of the Jingsi Bowl in Hualien. Therefore, Tzu Chi volunteers from all around the world gather at the spiritual home to celebrate this monumental occasion. Let's check out the festivities.
祝福大家哈，平平安安哈，甲恁祝福。感恩上人。
On Tzu Chi's 53rd anniversary, Tzu Chi's volunteers from around the world returned to the Jingsi abode in Hualien to celebrate. Among them is the Belgian ambassador to Malaysia.
Definitely my most gratefulness to Master for welcoming us, but also for the work that she's been doing for the last 5 decades with her team. And this is all her spirit, which is translated in the material deeds and relief, environment, medical, and this is absolutely unique.
Returning to the abode is like coming home for the volunteers. The volunteers hold a talk and share anything they know. Among them is Lori Chen. He may be very young, but his words reveal his compassion.
We bought books for them to use in class and bought school bags so they can carry them to school. This is an apple tree, so the suffering people can eat the apples.
The volunteers also make vows that in the coming days they will continue to cultivate blessings and do Tzu Chi work.
福慧一脚接着一脚，步步踏实往前行。这一条道路是永恒的，生生世世。
After 53 years, Tzu Chi volunteers are in over 100 countries, leaving their footprints behind as they will continue their work with great love.
Speaking of the 53rd anniversary of Tzu Chi, volunteers seized the opportunity to conduct a gathering and distribution for around 100 care recipients. There was also a free clinic and haircut services on site.
The solemn chant of Buddha's name welcomes the 53rd anniversary of Tzu Chi. On this day, Tzu Chi volunteers from around the world returns to the Jingsi abode.
We disciples return to the abode to celebrate the anniversary, to delight Dharma Master Zen Yen, and we can also cultivate compassion for all of us. This allows us to actively spread Master's goodness and love when we return back to our communities.
This is not a hair salon, but a free haircut venue. Tzu Chi volunteers use their skills to give care recipients brand new hairstyles on the anniversary. Besides receiving aid supplies from Tzu Chi volunteers, the care recipients also contribute their share to help other people in need.
I suffer from oral cancer, and my grandchildren are from a single-parent family too. So Tzu Chi has been helping us and caring for us. I'm very grateful to them.
Hualien Tzu Chi Hospital also hosts a monthly free clinic at the Jingsi abode. On this special day, the site is not only full of joy and festivities, but also love and warmth.
Dr. Macedonia once mentioned, through giving, our lives will become more fulfilled. It is possible for all of us to live a fulfilling life if we're determined to help others. Therefore, in Quanzhong, Fujian, Tzu Chi volunteers and a group of 43 entrepreneurs pay home visits to many impoverished households.
Under the guidance of Tzu Chi volunteers, the entrepreneurs have paid home visits to the impoverished. They have visited Axing, who has intellectual disabilities.
I never gave anyone a haircut before, as his hair was long. I believe he might feel uncomfortable. To make him feel at ease, I talked to him as if we were very close. He felt relaxed during our talk, and then we gave him a haircut. I'm glad to give him a haircut, and I feel joyful by coming here today, being able to help this individual in need and make him feel happy. I think this is very meaningful. When we were leaving, he also accompanied us to the door. I was very touched.
On the other hand, they also visited Axing. His son passed away due to suicide and his wife had left him. Therefore, he has been drinking and smoking every day. The volunteers and entrepreneurs have helped him to clean up his room.
When I went inside the room, all I wanted was to clean it up as fast as I could. I was afraid of the bad odor, but as I kept on cleaning, I realized that it wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. It's like there wasn't any smell in the room.
I'm happy and grateful that there are a lot of people who are helping and caring for these solitary seniors.
Through the home visits, the entrepreneurs were inspired to cultivate their compassion and giving.
In Liaoning, China, Tzu Chi volunteers have been caring for 2 diabetic patients. In 2018, when one of them was hospitalized, the other visited him as a volunteer. And when himself was hospitalized later, the other care recipient reciprocated the care. These 2 care recipients are seizing every opportunity to care for not just one another, but also anyone in need.
32-year-old Liu Jing, who has diabetes, faces emergency medical situations from time to time. For the past 3 years, Tzu Chi volunteers have shown up when needed. Being hospitalized for 12 days, Liu Jing, who's visually impaired, cannot take care of herself. Her mother is blind. Fortunately, Tzu Chi volunteers have accompanied her. Before Liu Jing was discharged from the hospital, a friend has come to provide care.
She came to care for you last time. Now that she has fallen ill, you should go care for her. You can encourage each other and share positive energy.
33-year-old Sun Liang has been diagnosed with diabetes since he was in elementary school. He has become braver because of the encouragement of Tzu Chi volunteers and Liu Jing.
During that period, the people whom we appreciate have come to my house. I feel different from before. I feel that I've become more optimistic and happier.
When you are surrounded by people who are very optimistic and full of positive energy, you will also become positive.
Tzu Chi volunteers have cared for both Liu Jing and Sun Liang. They've both learned from Tzu Chi volunteers and are providing love and care for other patients.
The tourism industry in Penghu has always been booming. However, when there's a lot of tourists, there tends to be a lot of littering happening as well. Therefore, Tzu Chi volunteers have guided students from various schools to conduct a beach cleanup event. Thank you for watching. See you next time.